Here's everything I spent last week as a 32-year-old trying to be financially responsible to help me pay off my debt. Monday was a working from home day and therefore a no spend day. And Tuesday I also worked from home, but I spent £118 on my dog's food, which is truly eye-watering, but he is our pride and joy and he's on a raw diet due to his health condition, so it's just a little bit more expensive. On Wednesday I went into the office and spent my usual £7 on car parking, and then on the way home I did my groceries, which came to £89.53, which was over budget. And I don't know if it's like the cost of living or the fact that we're trying to eat healthier. I just can't stick to my budget these days. Thursday was another no spend day. I did get my hair done, but this was free because I got it for my birthday. Friday was another no spend day. Then on Saturday I went to a family gathering, spent nothing there, and then we went to Nando's. My husband very kindly treated me to a Nando's, so that was also free. Sunday was another no spend day. We're at the point now where the weather's starting to get a bit nicer, so it's way easier to do things that don't cost money. So we ended up going on a really nice walk to Divis, and this took about 2 hours, so it was just such a really lovely way to spend my Sunday without spending a penny. So that was a total spend for the week of £215.35, and also 5 out of 7 no spend days.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching a few videos of what I spent in a week, and honestly, she seems so sensible with money. She's not wasting it on loads of random things or trying to live some crazy expensive lifestyle. Most of what she spends is on normal, everyday stuff, and you can tell she actually thinks before buying things. Also, her dog is absolutely adorable. She mentioned that she thought her food shop was expensive, but honestly, I thought it was really cheap for everything she got. Food prices have gone up so much lately, so I was expecting it to cost a lot more. Overall, I think she's doing really well. She's still enjoying herself and buying what she needs, but she's not throwing money away and doing the simple things in life. This is probably one of the most realistic and sensible what I spend in a week videos I've seen.
This is what I spend in a week in the most expensive week of my life. It honestly just gets worse and worse and worse. It started beautifully with a family trip to the city to take the kids to their first footy game. But trips away are expensive. This ended up costing us about $1,300. And then we got home to all of the normal life stuff, groceries, petrol, bills. And then came the big one. We finally found a rental, which meant paying the bond and rent up front while we were still paying the mortgage on our old house. Then came movers, buying new furniture, which we got all secondhand, but it still isn't cheap. Now it's not even halfway through the month and we've already spent more than $12,000. Now, while it hurts seeing that money leave our account, this is exactly why we've been stacking our emergency fund. It's definitely less stressful when you plan for these expenses, but it's still so much money.
This girl definitely spent a good bit this week, especially on trips, but then the rest was just normal, everyday things like food, petrol, and general shopping. Nothing too crazy, really. She also mentioned that she got a rental property, so I'm guessing they're planning to rent it out and make some extra income from it, which is actually really smart. It might be a big expense now, but hopefully it'll pay off for them in the long run. Let's see what happens in the next video.
This is how much I spent in a week at uni as a girl who can't save and just says you only live once before buying anything. My budget is £100, but I never stick to that. On Monday, I spent £77, got a varsity ticket and then a purple top for Leeds Beckett for varsity. Paid £30 on TikTok shop. This Starbucks was actually productive because it was whilst I was doing work. All my things were running out, so I had to do a super drug shop. Tuesday, I spent £17. I don't really know what on. Card, drink, body care, the corner shop, but apparently it was £17. Wednesday, I spent nothing, so that's really good. Thursday, I spent £22 in Co-op, which stupidly did my supermarket shop in the Co-op because I couldn't be bothered walking to Aldi. However, the Co-op is so expensive, and I think this was on 4 things, which I don't know how I've done that. Friday, I spent nothing as well, so that was good. Saturday I spent £95.68. Went to Mint Festival, got my weekend ticket gifted, which was really good, but the drinks were so expensive. So I spent £64 on drinks and then photo booth, the Uber there and chips. Spenny day. Sunday, we didn't end up going back to Mint because my friend had to go home. I got a Bubbleology, so random, but I love bubble tea. My concealer had run out, so I had to go to Superdrug, Pizza Express and then a club ticket. I bought tickets for something in Ibiza, so that was £60. Over the course of the week, I spent £310.75, which is 3 times my budget. However,
this girl is in uni and she definitely has that you only live once mindset. She set herself a budget of £100 for the week, but even she admitted she never really sticks to it, and she didn't because she ended up spending nearly 3 times that. A lot of it went on drinks, Ubers, skincare, and a concert ticket. To be fair, I do understand the concert ticket because it's nice to make memories and enjoy yourself, especially when you're young. But I do think when you're younger, it can be hard to really understand the value of money. Spending £20 here and £30 there doesn't seem like much at the time, but it adds up so quickly. I don't think she was being completely reckless, but she definitely needs to be a bit more realistic with her budget because £100 was never going to cover everything she had planned.
If you're like me and love seeing what everyone spends their money on, here's what we spent in a week as a 25-year-old mum with 2 kids and a husband. This week our groceries came to $313.93. I tried to budget around $250 to $300, so that was pretty good. We had a big week for leisure as I renewed our Ginger Factory annual passes, but honestly they're so worth it and save you so much in the long run. I also got my nails done and my husband bought a game. Then our bills were $172.52, which included subscriptions such as Prime Video, Apple, my gym membership with Crave. We did pretty good with eating out this week. It was $90.71. Miscellaneous was a big one. It was $287.97 as we bought new batteries for our mower and some other house things. Then we also had a car wash. And petrol was $44.91. So I'm not sure why this was so low. I must have done a small refill. And that brings our weekly total to $1,172.59. Follow along for more budget breakdowns. If you're like me and love seeing what everyone spends their money on, here's what we spent in a week as a 25-year-old mum with 2 kids and a husband. This week our groceries came to $313.93. I tried to budget around $250 to $300, so that was pretty good. We had a big week for leisure as I renewed our Ginger Factory annual passes, but honestly they're so worth it and save you so much in the long run. I also got my nails done and my husband bought a game. Then our bills were $172.52, which included subscriptions such as Prime Video, Apple, my gym membership with Crave. We did pretty good with eating out this week. It was $90.71. Miscellaneous was a big one. It was $287.97 as we bought new batteries for our mower and some other house things. Then we also had a car wash. And petrol was $44.91. So I'm not sure why this was so low. I must have done a small refill. And that brings our weekly total to $1,172.59.
This time, it's a family of 4 version of what they spend in a week, with 2 adults and 2 kids. They spent $313.93 on food for the week. Does that seem like a lot for a family of 4? Let me know in the comments. Because honestly, with the price of food now, it doesn't seem completely crazy to me. Overall, it just seemed like a fairly normal week. They spent money on petrol, had a normal amount of eating out for a family of 4, and then they had to buy a new battery for the lawnmower. That was probably one of the dearer purchases, but that's just part of owning a home. Something always seems to need fixing or replacing. I don't think there was any wild spending here. It was mostly just normal family and household expenses that add up very quickly.
Here's everything I spent this week as a stay-at-home mum to 2 little boys. I'll take you through my spend analysis as always, and this shows my month to date. This week I've had to create a new custom category for Oscar's nutrition journey. I've made separate videos on this, but this week we went to see a registered nutritionist about Oscar's picky eating. That cost £175 just for the consultation, and then she suggested 3 tests to sort of get to the root of the problem, and that came to £556. Expensive, I know, but hopefully it'll be worth it. Bills-wise, we've had an extra £235.35 come out for British Gas, which made more sense to me when I spotted this on the individual feed about the cost of living, which Snoop has calculated will cost me just under £900 over the next 12 months. Thanks to price increases. Specifically on energy, that's likely to be an extra £48 a month. Whilst that's annoying, I do love how Snoop is 100% personalised for me and I get a unique set of money saving ideas to help combat inflation, which I can't do anything about. Nothing else on my car this week, thankfully. I did spend £87.71 on groceries, which obviously included lots of Valentine's Day treats. I spent £8.98 on eating out, which is pretty good given that we're still without a proper kitchen. £23.50 on entertainment because we did soft play twice and I had to pay for a school trip that Oscar's going on in June. And I had to take £10 cash out for a coffee and a playgroup that we attended on Wednesday. If you're nosy like me, maybe you found that interesting. Definitely leave me any questions you have in the comments. I'm happy to talk about anything, including my income in case you want to know. And I do recommend checking out Snoop. It's linked in my bio. It has genuinely helped me get a better grip on my spending and helped me save in certain areas too. Here's everything I...
This mom seems really sensible with money. A lot of what she spent was on her child's nutrition, and I think that's completely fair. Making sure your child is eating well is one of those things that's worth paying for. The gas for the house was very expensive, but there's not much you can do about that, especially when energy prices are so high. Their meal out was actually quite cheap too, so it didn't feel like they were overspending there. Overall, I think she's very smart with money. Most of the spending was on important things. Hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one. Thank you.